Hey guys, Quigon Quasar here, back again with another Mass Effect Andromeda video. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you another character playstyle slash character build. And this build is going to be Aerial Assault. I'm going to be using the Turian Havoc Trooper for this character build. It's a really awesome character. Like it's one of my favorite characters. Really cool abilities. It's got like a hover ability, so when you like aim down your sights, when you're in air and hover, you can actually move around the map and actually sort of like fly. You're basically a freaking bird with this guy, and the Taurans do look like birds anyway, so it makes sense. You've got Incinerate with this character, Turbocharge, and Flat Cannon. Incinerate and Flat Cannon are both very good for taking down health and armor. Turbocharge is going to basically turbocharge your rate of fire and increase it massively. Also increase the size of your clip. This character's got a great health rate, 750. I have upgraded it quite a bit. I'm level 14. But it starts off with a good health, a good amount of health and a good amount of shield. As you can see, it's pretty damn high, and I'm not even anywhere near max level, and it's already higher than most of the other characters. Now, the gun that I am going to be using for this video, for this build, is the Cyclone. This weapon, like most assault rifles, has terrible damage. It's really not good in the damage front. Like I said in a lot of my other videos, I think the assault rifles need a massive damage buff, like most of them do, apart from like the Revenant and the Falcon grenade launcher. But yeah, this one, it's not great with the damage, but it's got amazing rate of fire, huge clip size, and you can carry a lot of ammo. It's got a pretty decent accuracy level in terms of how accurate it's going to be at long range and stuff, especially considering how high the rate of fire is. Believe me, the rate of fire is incredible, as you will soon see. But that's the gun that I'm going to be using. I'm not going to be using a secondary. I'll let you have a look at my skills, where I put my skill points. I've put most of my skill points down into munitions training and aerial assault. I always do that with my characters anyway, and I always do it with my character builds, just because I think the passive abilities down at the bottom are the most important. Like they're just the most sort of they contribute to your character the most and make surviving and doing more damage. The massive. They really increase it, and they make surviving, doing a lot of damage much easier and much more effective. I haven't upgraded the Flat Cannon or Incinerate, although I'll still be able to use it. It's just not going to be quite as effective as if you upgraded a lot. But I've also put a few skill points into Turbocharge, because that's going to be like the bread and butter of this character. You're going to be able to hover above enemies and shoot down behind cover, or if an enemy is behind cover, you can hover above them, move around the map, and just rain down fire upon them and do loads and loads of damage, especially with Turbocharge, and just have an incredible rate of fire, as you will see in a second. But anyway, that's done for the sort of the character breakdown and the loadout breakdown. I'm going to show you this guy in action, so I'll be back with you guys in a second. Alright guys, so I've jumped into a multiplayer match right now. Actually, it's not a multiplayer match, I'm on my own because these goddamn servers wouldn't find anyone for me to play with. But I'm going to show you how well this character performs in battle. First off, I'm going to show you sort of, like I said, the bread and butter, the turbocharge ability. Look at this fire rate, this is insane. Look at that, that is incredible, that is so good. It is, it blows out of the water, like blows any other weapon, apart from maybe this zone, which one of you guys mentioned in one of my recent videos, in the comments of one of my recent videos. Apart from that, and maybe the Hurricane, I don't think anything beats this gun for rate of fire. It's got such a good rate of fire. Now, like I said, you can sort of hover over enemy cover. When an enemy is in cover, you can hover over that cover and just take them the hell out. Let me just find an enemy that is in cover. I think we've got a dude up here. I don't know. Yeah, there's a guy up here. I'm going to head up. I'm going to sort of push up a little bit. Alright, that guy just disappeared. Right here, I'll show you here. Look, you can literally just fly. You can move around. Look at my shadow. I'm just like floating around. You can move whilst you're in the air. It does kind of make you a sitting duck, but it's a lot more effective and a lot more easy to survive using that method and using that, pivotal hover ability. It's a lot easier to survive that way and a lot cooler than if you, the normal hover. For anyone that's wondering, you can't usually do that. You can only do it with this character. With the other characters, you just sort of stay, in the air, stationary until your hover ability runs out and you just fall down to the ground, which is, that kind of makes you very much a sitting duck, except you're sort of like a flying duck or a hovering duck. With this one, though, you can sort of fly around the map. It's not forever. You do drop eventually, but it's very effective for getting behind enemies that are behind cover. Hey, look at that. The servers finally decided to bless me with another character or another player. Thank God, because I probably would have died halfway through this match. But yeah, as you can see, very effective. I'm just going to duck the hell out of that. I'm about to get killed by this goddamn space dog. These goddamn space dogs, dude. Very effective for getting over cover, over and around cover. Oh crap, I just got knocked out. That was my fault, I'm being a noob, sorry guys. So if there's enemies like bogged down anywhere in the map, especially if you're playing on say silver or gold. Right now I'm on bronze because the servers just wouldn't let me find anyone on silver or gold. These goddamn servers. It's very good, especially on silver and gold, if there's sort of a bunch of low-level enemies, because obviously when the high-level enemies come, so like the Hydra-mechs or the Fiends or the Anointed, for example, you know, the tougher sort of boss-type enemies, when they come, you really want the normal enemies, the grunt-type enemies, the weaker ones. You really want them just, you know, to get the hell out of the way and to move so that you can, you know, focus on the big dudes, focus on the main bosses that are, you know, that have the ability to execute you. And you know, when the fiends freaking pound you into the ground with their fists, you know, you want to focus on them more than focusing on the grunt type enemies. So it's very good for, you know, getting rid of a lot of the grunt type enemies. As you can see, like before, I took out the grunt enemies and the you know, the lowest level enemies, the weakest enemies, quite quickly with this gun, especially when you use turbocharge. Turbocharge is just going to expedite it even more, make it that much faster to take the enemies out and take your foes out. Now, in terms of range, it's not going to be much of a problem with this. Obviously, you're not going to... Let me just show you this. The range is pretty good. It is pretty good considering the rate of fire, but you're not going to say on like some of the longer range maps. This is kind of one of the most longer range maps in the game. On the longer range maps, you're not going to be able to hit them, or at least hit a lot of shots off unless you are, you know, very good with sort of tap firing and tapping the trigger very cautiously. You're not going to hit many shots at long range, but that isn't a problem because of the sort of the movable hover ability, how you can just move around the map, like I mentioned before. Say if there's an enemy over there or on that rooftop, you can just hover over there. You will move, it's very slow, but you can get a lot of distance and then just boost over here and make it over to, like I have here, make it over to the enemies or wherever the enemies are. So you're not going to, you know, be doing a lot of long-range shooting, but this character isn't great, or this sort of playstyle and character build isn't great for long-range fighting and long-range engagements. However, you can sort of take the fight to the enemy, even if there's a sniper engaging you at very long range, ultra long range. You can gain, you know, make up for it and gain distance or reduce the distance to them very quickly and very easily with this guy's hover, like an advanced hover, I guess you could call it. They don't really have a proper name for it now. In terms of the flak cannon, I believe it's called the Quigon flak cannon. It's actually the disc here on the right bumper, or R1 if you're on PS4. That's actually what the Quigon Berserker, that's actually their like main weapon, that's what their weapon shoots. So it's very effective. If you've ever got like absolutely wrecked by the Krogans, that's probably why. Like that gun is probably why. It is exactly the same as the Krogan's gun. So it's very useful, very effective, and even when it's not leveled up at all, you saw right there, it does, you know, it does quite a lot of damage. I'll just refill my ammo here. You can hover above enemies, do a lot of damage. It also stuns them as well. You can hover above like 4 or 5 enemies at once, stun them all because it's sort of like a cluster bomb. It's even if you upgrade it to the, you know, the max level, or, you know, purchase the maximum level perk of the skill tree, of the flak cannon skill tree. Even if you do that, you're not going to, you know, do super levels of damage, as much as say like one of the most powerful sniper rifles in the game. But the main point of that is sort of like crowd control. It'll cluster around a bunch of enemies. It'll split them up kind of. It will definitely disorientate them, and it will do damage. It will deal damage. It's a good sort of crowd pleaser in the sense. Well, not really a crowd pleaser, sort of a crowd killer. It will kill crowds of enemies, or at least damage them. Say if there's loads of enemies around here. Say if you're, you know, you need to make a run for the evac, which on this map is down there. Say if you're making a run for the evac at the, you know, in the final round, at the end of the final round, and there's a bunch of enemies down there. You jump up, drop a flak cannon or 2 down there. Make a run for it, it'll scatter them and buy you some time. I'm just going to try and help this AFK dude out, because he's about to go down. Come on, bro, don't be AFK. How dare you? Oh, really, when you're playing with this gun and this character with a turbocharge, don't bother trying to shoot at the prize, because all of your bullets will be bounced back at you by the prize Aegis biotic shield. And obviously, you want to avoid that. It will take your shield up pretty damn quickly when you want to shoot, you know, you're shooting at yourself essentially. Avoid that. But in terms of the incinerate, that's very good, especially for, say if there's an enemy at long range. Say if, you know, you're really far away from an enemy, but you don't want to gain ground on them, you don't want to sort of chase them across the map. You either want to leave it for another enemy or another player, let it be their problem, or so if you don't want to have to worry about it yet. Or say if it's, you know, they're bogged down. Say over there, for example, they're hidden behind the cover over there. You can't get to them. Say there's enemies there, and you're sort of pinned down, and behind those sort of, that cover over there that I'm shooting at right now, say if you want to take the enemies out, say if it's one of these guys, like a marked guy that you actually have to take out to continue on with the wave objective, it's very useful to sort of, say if there's an enemy taking cover there, you can actually lock onto them and shoot round corners with the incinerate. If you were, I'll try and show you in a second, but if you can sort of see their health bar, oh crap, we got a freaking Solarian, whatever you call it. If you can sort of see their name and their like icon around a corner, you can shoot it around a corner. You can shoot the incinerate around a corner if you, you know, you get used to it. I'll try and show you now if I can get up this goddamn building. Wow, I'm such a noob. Right, let me show you right here, for example. You don't actually have to shoot directly at them. You can shoot above them and it will sort of curve around and hit them from the top. Very useful for an enemy's bogged down in cover, or even if it's not, you haven't got it leveled up very much, it's not going to do that much damage if you haven't got it leveled up very much. But like, watch this now. I can shoot it around the corner. Well, when people are taking cover, like crouch behind cover, if they get hit by one of your incinerate or incineration powers or abilities, it will actually knock them out of that cover, and they'll sort of pat their body and try and put out the fire that you've just given them. But you know, they'll try to stop themselves from burning any further. So it's very good for sort of uprooting enemies out of cover. You can sort of curve it around. See, look, they'll try and pat out the fire and sort of be, you know, knocked back and stunned by that fire whilst the fire is burning them. So it's very good if they're, you know, bogged down behind cover. This character definitely specializes at sort of cover busting. So, you know, there's a ton of enemies behind the cover. None of your teammates seem to, you know, be able to get them out of that cover. This character is very good for it. If you don't want to use the incinerate, if you don't want to use the flak cannon, just float above them. Just fly above them and shoot down. My personal favorite of this class is the right. Oh, by the way, just before I deviate, this guy's gun, the Quigon's gun, he's got a flak cannon, so it'll shoot at me in a second. That is the flak cannon. That's the ability that you've got. That's what I was speaking about before. My personal favorite, apart from the turbocharge ability, is the flak cannon. It's just so effective for you can like basically turn into a freaking like a jet or a bomber, fly above enemies, and just look down on them and bomb them like a bomber. Honestly, like a World War II bomber or something. Just drop bombs and missiles down on them. It's very effective and very goddamn satisfying. It really is. Oh, we actually got a goddamn full match in this. Finally, the servers have decided to grace me with a working multiplayer for once. That's probably because I'm the host of the match. I'm going to try and take this dude out here. Now, one thing to bear in mind about this gun is it's going to be great against shields. It's going to be pretty damn good against health. However, because it's got a kind of, well, a very low damage per shot and you know, damage output, it's not going to be great against armor. Maybe the Hydromex will show up later on in the rounds. We're on wave 4 now. Maybe they'll show up at like wave 5, wave 6, wave 7. Once they do, obviously they're the armored enemies in turn. They're like the most armored and the most tough enemies out of the Outlaw faction that I'm fighting right now. This gun probably isn't going to be great against armor. I'm just going to be honest. It's probably not going to be great against armor. Then again, though, you could rock with a secondary weapon. You could use like a Talon, shotgun pistol, or a kind of shotgun. That would work. Or even a sniper. That would also work pretty well as well. Something, you know, something to sort of switch to when the armored enemies come. Maybe it's a Fiend. Maybe it's a Hydromech. Something that's tougher when they are tougher boss type enemies come. Maybe you want to switch to that, you know, to do the damage to their armor and, you know, their armor bars or armor health bars. Whereas when the shielded enemies or just, you know, grunt enemies with just health bars, no armor or anything, use this, switch this. This gun is fantastic against shields and barriers, fantastic against health. Like I said, not great against armor. It's really not that great against armor, as you'll probably see once the Hydromech start to spawn. I think wave 5 is when they start to spawn on bronze difficulty, so you'll probably see that soon enough. But I just love the size of the clip. Like the clip, look, 73 bullets right now after I've activated the I think when you activate turbocharge, you get like 10 extra bullets in the clip. Oh, I just flew off. That wasn't very smart of me. Yeah, we have actually got a Hydromech inbound. I hear a Hydromech's footsteps. They're so loud, it's hard to mistake. Let me just take this dude out. I'm gonna duck out of there. Get wrecked! Freaking hell, I nearly got taken down. Right, where is this? Where's the mech? I'm looking for the mech. Right, so I actually just got freaking lagged out of that match. It said I lost connection to session, and I was like the host. I don't know how I lost connection to my own session. That is weird. These servers, man, they're so screwed. They are so screwed. And look at the HUD. That, like, for some reason, the heads-up display is still there. Like, you can see my ammo count and everything. The Avenger assault rifle's there. For some reason, I do not know. This game is so wrecked at the moment. It really needs to be patched, like I keep saying. But anyway, as I was saying, I don't know how much of that was kept in at the end of the clip. But this character and the upgrade the gun. Not really going to specialize against armor, but it can still, you know, it can still handle it. If you want to just use the Cyclone and you don't want to use any other weapon, then it will handle, you know, armored foes, fiends, hydras. It will do okay against them. It's just not going to specialize against them. Like I said, use your flat cannon or incinerate for like a damage boost and damage buff against the armored foes, or just switch to a secondary. Maybe if you want to pack a secondary, I'm going to show you some good secondaries right now. You got the M37 Falcon there. It's basically one of the only assault rifles that doesn't suck right now. It's a grenade launcher, and it is a rare weapon. So, you know, if you open the 50,000 and 100,000 credits pack, you're going to stand a good chance of getting that and unlocking that weapon sooner or later. Now, the other weapon I would recommend is the Talon. That's a shotgun, but it's a pistol. It's the size of a pistol. Doesn't weigh a lot. Does a lot of damage. 734 damage. And if you put, you know, like mods on like pistol barrel or something, it does more damage. Obviously, put mods on. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier on in the video is that the equipment, what equipment you should use. I'm using the Combatives upgrade equipment here, and what it does is it increases damage dealt by assault rifles and pistols by 10%. Obviously, I'm using an assault rifle right now, so it's going to increase it by, you know, increase the damage by 10%, which is always, you know, an extra bit of damage is always useful and always helpful. And if you do choose to rock with the Talon, that's obviously a pistol as well, so you're going to gain a 10% damage boost for that. Now, I forgot to mention before what mods I'm using for the Cyclone. I'm using the AR barrel, which gives you 9% more assault rifle damage, and the Stuck, which gives you 27% better assault rifle stability. Because it's got such a high rate of fire, it can suffer from pretty bad recoil. Even with that mod, even with 27% extra assault rifle stability, it still suffers from a pretty crappy recoil amount. But, you know, that mod will help control it. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry I lagged out. I really am. If you did enjoy, please leave a like. It would really help me out, and I would really appreciate it. If you want to see any more of my videos, I'm going to be making more Mass Effect Andromeda videos than any other YouTuber. So if you enjoy Mass Effect Andromeda content, you should definitely stick around and subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.